First things first, I'm Jenna Wolf alongside Nick Wright, Kevin Wilds, Brian Westbrook, and a side of LeBron we usually only see on the gram. Why was he laughing so hard? Oh, he just watched Dre get ejected.
Yeah, 2 quick technicals in 11 seconds. LeBron was load managing. Draymond decided about a quarter and a half into this game he should load manage too, big.
He's out of there. You know, they're both members of Clutch Sports Agency, so I think these guys know each other from the offseason.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, they spend a lot of time together, but it's always funny to see your friend get kicked out of the game.
Playoff intensity from Draymond that never turns off.
Never turns off.
Never turns off.
First Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. Kevin has made it to day 2. The bar is higher today, my friend. Takeaways from day 1.
Takeaways, yeah. I had some, you know what, my kids were more excited than anyone. They said they loved my friends, which was nice.
Were the friends?
Yes.
Okay.
They loved your NBA graphic. They're like, oh, I could go and look at the NBA graphics. And they were just so excited to see me. And I said, Russ, what about me? And he goes,
It's funny. My kids did the exact same thing. New guy.
What's the new guy?
Like,
good to see you, dude.
Good to see you as well.
Absolutely.
All right.
I mean, Kevin, no, you're not. You won't.
So he doesn't want to do it. Oh, you're going.
Now insert.
You're ready.
Okay.
All right, we made it to day 2. We made it to Friday. We got a ton to get to today. Big show. So LeBron James might have proof that he can afford to rest a little more. Jerry Jones knows he can't afford to let Dak slip through the cracks. And the Patriots might be learning that they cannot afford to actually pay Tom Brady. That's where we start this morning. Here we go. So we've heard the rumors that Brady wants $30 million per season. Doesn't appear that's what the Patriots want to pay him. Jeff Darlington is reporting that Brady is now operating under the belief that he will leave New England. Nick, what are the chances Brady stays with the Patriots at this point?
At this point, you got to feel it's very, very low. I'm a gambling man, so what would I need to bet on?
This is the first I'm hearing this.
What would I need to bet on the Patriots retaining Tom Brady? Like 4.5 to 1 plus 450? So that'd mean it's like 22% according to the odds I created.
That makes me feel all right, actually.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's
22% makes me feel great.
I don't think it's
That
like
he's
a 1
coming
in
back.
100 shot.
Okay,
but I think right now, if you were to roll the die, or 4 or 5 of the 6 outcomes involve him playing somewhere else. And at this point, the only reason it's at even in the low 20s in my mind and not lower is because there is a factor here that we haven't heard from lately, and that's Robert Kraft. Will Robert Kraft step in and say, Tom Brady is finishing his career here? And if he does that, is he willing to roll the die that Bill Belichick might say, okay, I'm not? Not because Belichick doesn't love Brady.
Time.
Yeah.
Are you saying Belichick's going to leave?
What I'm saying is, I believe, I can't prove it, but I believe in Bill Belichick's contract with the New England Patriots. It says in black letter, full control of football decisions. And that if Robert Kraft comes in and vetoes or meddles or comes over the top.
Which he's done once before.
She's done once before. I think Belichick could walk. I think that Belichick could. And the only reason I think Kraft has not done it is because he knows if I meddle in this, maybe I'll keep Brady for the next 2 years, but cost myself Belichick for the next 12. And that's why I think there is a chance Tom Brady comes back, Brian, but it could be at the expense of the head coach.
Brian, what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, first of all, I think there's a 75% chance that Tom Brady returns back to New England.
22 to 75.
But here's the reason why. He hasn't had a conversation with Bill Belichick. And sometimes when you have that conversation with your coach, and I had a bunch of conversations with Andy Reid, and when I went into that office, we're in the middle of negotiations, and I had my agent talking to Joe Banner. I had my agent talking to the owner. But when I had the conversation with Andy Reid, man to man, that's when the deal got done.
Really?
And at some point, that's exactly what happened. Not the agent.
Your agent in the room, or just you and?
It was just me and Andy Reid. It was actually a Saturday before a game. So we did the game prep And then I go into his office right after the game prep before the buses leave, and we hammered out the contract. But without the agent, I wish I didn't have to pay my agency fee, but I still did. But it was a conversation between the player and the coach. And I think that at some point, Tom Brady is going to have a conversation with Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick's going to say, listen, Tom, I can pay you 30, I can pay you 29, whatever that number is, and Tom is going to have to say no to the man that he's been with for the last 19 years.
You're the diehard Patriot fan on this desk here. Would you rather have Tom Brady for 2 years or, like Nick said, Bill Belichick for the foreseeable future?
If that's the choice.
I mean, that is a fantastic question.
It's an easy answer.
Let the man answer.
He
Go
knows
ahead.
the answer. He don't want to say it.
He might not. Maybe.
No, he knows.
Let me hear an answer.
Yeah, Belichick.
It's a 3-hour show. You're going to have to say
I would rather have Bill Belichick.
Of course.
But do you really believe that?
Unfortunately,
Really?
that's the right
Kevin,
answer.
why?
It's because
just
the
longer.
and because the coach does not deteriorate. The coach, in theory, only gets better.
But do you really believe Bill Belichick would say, if Robert Kraft says you have to have the greatest quarterback in our organization's history, the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL, you have to have him for 2 more years, Bill Belichick would be like, you know what? I've been here for a long time, but this is the straw that broke the camel's back.
for me.
I
I'm
think
outta
that
here.
Bill Belichick knows that the whole Patriot era does not unfold the way it did if Robert Kraft meddled 20 years ago. 20 years ago, 19 years ago, Drew Bledsoe gets hurt.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick has none of this pedigree, none of the cachet he's built up. Robert Kraft was on the record saying one of the reasons he bought the Patriots was because of the stability that Drew Bledsoe brought to the organization. He had just given him the biggest contract in NFL history. And Belichick had a very tough conversation with Kraft saying, we need to go with the kid. Kraft didn't want to, but he let him. It ended up being the greatest decision Robert Kraft, Belichick, anyone arguably in football history has ever made. I think Bill Belichick believes our system only works. We can't have a little Jerry Jones sprinkled in where it's my word is the last word, except maybe sometimes. And already once, Kraft came in, and I think Belichick looks back on that and says, how's that working out for us, by the way?
That
Would
was
we
with
like
Jimmy
to have
Garoppolo
tried
getting
to
sent to San
have worked
Francisco.
something out with Jimmy Garoppolo? Would we like to see if there's some way we could have kept him and not had Jared Stidham as the backup? So
Well, they won a Super Bowl after that.
No, of course. Sticking with Tom was the right decision, but moving off Garoppolo winning the way they did maybe wasn't. I just don't think Belichick wants people to meddle in his business. I think Kraft knows it.
All right, so there's the other side of this, and that's should the Patriots even want Brady back? According to a report, they haven't even reached out to Brady about a new deal. I mean, Nick, if not Brady, who should New England turn to as their next quarterback?
Well, Brian, let's just assume that he's not there. I know you're at 75%, but for the sake of this argument, for the moment, let's assume he's not there. To me, there's 4 obvious options. The coolest option is Cam Newton. Okay. I know the Panthers have come out and said that he's our guy, but minds can change. The safest option is Teddy Bridgewater. The most boring option is Andy Dalton, and the most interesting option is Marcus Mariota. The reason I say most interesting for Mariota is Mariota, 2nd overall pick in year 2, looked like he was. Yeah, well,
didn't even finish the season out with his own team.
This year he did not. In year 2, he was awesome. Never turned the ball over. I think he had a 96 rating. He had a 4-to-1, 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, and then his play has trailed off. It's one of those 4 names, in my opinion. I don't think it's Jared Stidham. You can go cool Cam, safe Teddy, boring Andy Dalton, or interesting Marcus Mariota. One of those 4 guys.
Sorry, Andy Dalton.
Yeah. I like Teddy, and I think he's a good fit because he's not going to turn the ball over. He's accurate. He has short term, and he's short as far as distance throws. He's great at the intermediate throws. He's not going to wow you with the down the field weapons and his throws down the field, but they don't have the weapons to kind of complete the ball down the field anyway at this point. And so to me, the safest bet is Teddy, and I think you're right about that. And that's the way that I would go if I'm Bill Belichick. I just want to make sure that my defense can be on the field and we're not turning the ball over in our own territory so they get in short field. That's the one thing that you can't win with. The interceptions, that's the biggest issue. Teddy's a great choice.
Just real quick, on the Bridgewater thing, just follow up very briefly. I do wonder if Bridgewater is going to cost the same Brady would. Like, I think Mariota's would be very cheap. I think Bridgewater's going to get more than $25 million a year.
Well, did you go cheap, though? Is that the answer? Going to Marcus Mariota may be cheaper, but is that really the answer if you want to win? Because if I'm a New England Patriots fan and they say, well, We could have paid Tom Brady $30 million, or we can pay Marcus Mariota 20. I'm like, pay Tom Brady. It's worth the 10 extra million. If it's Teddy Bridgewater at 25, 28, something like that, you still can make the argument. But if it's Teddy at 28 and Tom Brady at 30, there's no question. There's no discussion at all. It's you go with Tom Brady.
So we've got one quarterback on the roster. Jarrett Stidham.
Jarrett Stidham.
So I, of course, know who Jarrett Stidham. I'm a huge Jarrett Stidham fan. But just for the audience at home, we put together a helpful, handy guide to who is Jarrett Stidham. So the question is, which one of these faces is Jarrett Stidham?
Okay. Do you really want the answer?
Yes.
Well, I know who
Well, the guy on the far right is Stephen Hubbard.
That's our producer.
That's our producer.
I only know that that's not Jarrett
The guy in the middle has to be a Gronkowski. I don't know which one, but it's got to be one of them. So I'm going to say the guy on the left.
The guy on the left is my second favorite quarterback on the New England Patriots, Jarrett Stidham. Hi, my name is Jarrett. We can get to know Jarrett. He was at Auburn. He was good.
He's okay.
What do you mean he's okay? He's great.
Was okay.
Got drafted by the Patriots. Must have been great.
Okay.
Is he ready to win right now? That's the question.
Right.
The Patriots defense is ready to win right now. Bill Belichick is ready to win right now.
I trust in Belichick. If Belichick puts him on the field, we're ready to win.
Belichick's not putting him on the field. If Brady's not there, you're getting one of these four guys we listed. Jarrett Stidham is going to be a backup quarterback. I know